Let's get to London. So today we're off to London. I am speaking on a panel at the Ecom Collab Club. You might have seen one of our previous Uncuts it was one of the first ones actually, where we went to London and I spoke on the panel. We've done a few of them over this year. Evergreen actually sponsored the Ecom Collab Club in London, and it's meant that we've been heavily involved with them throughout the whole of this year. Today's actually the last of the panels that we're on. We're talking about financial insights, no less. So financial planning for 2025, which is actually incredibly timely because today it's going to be a very long day. We've got a lot happening. We're into London this morning really early. It's about 6 a.m. now. Then we're back. We'll be back by sort of late morning, back in the office. We've got several clients coming in to see us, all planning for 2025, and all wanting to sort of come up with map out their financial plans and their kind of strategies, their digital strategies. So that's going to be really good fun. We've got several clients back to back today, and then actually towards the end of the day we're going to be doing some prospecting, so it's going to be very, very busy, and we're heading in now, but I thought what I'd just quickly do, because one of the big revelations, thought I'd share it with you. One of the big revelations I've had across this year, because we've enjoyed Collab Club, that's been really good fun, and the audience that's going to be there today, it's held in Leicester Square. The audience that's going to be there today is a combination of agencies, some of our peers, and brands as well. But one of the big revelations for me this year, or the realization, should I say, is that when I looked at my time in the last couple of years, where I was spending a lot of my time, I realised I was spending a huge proportion of my time out networking. And if you run a business, you'll know what it's like. It's very easy to get wrapped up in you're just always out. You're networking with your peers, with maybe sometimes your competitors. Maybe it's local businesses, depending on your business. And I found with a combination of local networking groups and then some of my industry, sort of agency-specific groups, I was doing a lot of networking. And that was good. I met loads of people, built up lots of LinkedIn connections. But one of the things I sort of realised when I looked at it is actually that time, what could I better spend that time? The answer was yes. And so what I actually then have done for this year, and it's been a complete sort of game changer, is I decided I'm going to spend my time doing less peer-to-peer agency business networking. I'm going to do less of that. And instead, I'm going to spend my time with prospective clients. And crucially, I'm going to record a video, like we're doing right now with Uncut. So we're going to leverage our time, we're going to create content. And that time that was going into meeting and greeting and going and meeting other business owners, other agency owners, and networking is now spent in content creation and time with prospects. And that, for me, has been one of the biggest learnings or realizations of this year, has actually been that is, for me personally, where Evergreen is, the size of business we are, our plans of growth and so on, that has proved to be a much, much better use of time. That said, we've got Collab Club today. It's actually as I said, it's the last one. And then when we're looking at next year, we won't be redoing Collab Club next year, not because of anything to do with those guys, but again, just thinking about where I want to spend most of my time is on prospects, and actually is on creating even more content. At the moment, we've got several content series. We're actually planning to introduce one or two more. But yeah, and so today it's going to be a very busy day of networking, then planning, and then prospecting. So you get to come with us. The sun is slowly coming up, so it's going to be a long day. I'm going to need matchsticks for my eyes, I think. But yeah, you get to come with us. You'll see us on the panel and see what we get up to on a classic day in the life. Let's go. Right, here we are, just prepping. A couple of questions on financial forecasting. Certainly a hot topic. Should be good fun. Yeah, Aaron Rudman-Hawkins, run Evergreen. We're a paid media creative agency working specifically with home, garden, lifestyle brands. You'd be surprised, firstly, how many people do buy garden stuff in this time of year. We've got some of them going to do some crazy stuff in Black Friday and the dreaded word. Are we allowed to say Black Friday? I have, too late. I think the biggest thing is, it's obvious, but it's just setting clear targets. I think brands, I think there's a consensus that a lot of time it's like, we don't have a benchmark because the last couple of years has just been crazy. You can look at your historic data, the last 2 or 3 years. That's going to give you a good sense of what's going to be achievable this year. And I think having clear targets and then running what we do, if I think of the clients we're working with, we'll just run financial scenarios. So we'll just look at, and it's fairly predictable. It doesn't. Yes, there'll be a swing, but it's not going to be massive. And so we'll run a scenario and say, well, okay, if when it comes to their paid media or their online activity, okay, what does this look like if we do this? And we'll run that scenario out, and then we'll say, well, so if we land at this place with this level of revenue and turnover and so on, what does that look like? Are we happy? Yes, great, love that. Or no, that's not enough. Okay, then we need to go and we need to reevaluate. And so we'll just run scenarios, and that will allow us to set clear targets. And I think often what we see a lot of brands attempting to do is effectively put the cart before the horse, as they want to just actually turn around and go, well, this is actually the budget and this is the revenue, and you realise there's a massive disparity between the two. So I think just do the basics right and leverage your past data, because you'll be surprised, it will tell you a lot about what's going to happen in the future. I think one of the things I bang on about a lot is for brands to understand just how reliant they are. I approach this slightly differently. So financial, yes, but from a paid ad perspective. So something we bang on about all the time is understand just how reliant your business is on ads, on it, whatever you're doing. And I think so often at best there'll be an overarching plan or a goal for season or year on year or whatever it look like. Or we go from X to Y. But I think it's taking it a step further, and something we encourage is we say to our brands, look, overall we might want to go from X to Y, that's fine. And then we'll establish our budget. But what we need to do is we need to silo this up. And so for me, I kind of bucket a brand's traffic, their visibility, their brand awareness into 4 sort of key pillars. I say we're going to put everything we're buying into one pillar. So like that could be any type of ads, your affiliates, everything. We put that together. We say that's ultimately we're paying a premium for those visitors. Then we need to understand the visibility that you own. So your own brand visibility, that's repeat, a common theme for what we've spoken about today. Understanding that. Then you've got the traffic that you're nurturing. You put email and social into that bucket, and then there's the traffic that you're going to earn, which is going to be your organic, your SEO. And I think when you do that, it enables you, it gives you a far greater, because you can say, well, as a brand, we know we're a third reliant on paid, or we're 50%. And then I think from there, you can then break that down a step further, and you can look at, okay, now we're going to look platform specific. Now we're going to say, what are we putting into, paid search ads versus paid social ads versus affiliates and so on. And I think when you can then break that down, you can then approach it in a much more methodical way and know that, okay, because whilst you can make efficiencies and you can say, well, there's a 5% saving there, there's a 10% saving there. Ultimately, you can it becomes very easy to financially forecast for our clients. We will know what revenues they're going to do next year by what they're investing in and by knowing how reliant their brand is on the traffic they're buying. Because then we can challenge them and say, well, from an email perspective, what does that look like? And we don't do most of what we're advising our clients to do, but we'll say, you need to consider this. This is what, that channel historically has been 15% of your revenue. So you can be proactive in what are you doing to drive that to 20%. And it's by so that we try and remove as much of the guesswork as we can. And then it comes back to the previous point I made about you can then run scenarios and you can run hypotheticals. And I think the other big thing, again, from an ads perspective, from a kind of when you're looking to grow and set targets and wanting to remove the guesswork, is setting thresholds. I think so often, we've got a lot of it happening at the moment now. We know for our clients, there are thresholds in terms of their spend and their activity, that when we meet those markers, and you can set performance scripts that will essentially alert you to all of this stuff happening. But when you hit those markers, you can then set a sequence off the back of that will say, if it's performing to this level, therefore we want to do this. So I think we kind of, hopefully that makes sense, but we kind of tier it. We look at the overall picture and say, right, this is where we are, this is where we want to be. Then we break it down into those different channels, and then we can budget and plan accordingly, and both for the scenario we're playing for, but then, okay, what happens what happens when? I think just take a really methodical approach like that. It removes the guesswork. It makes growth and your investment into ads or whatever you're doing much more sustainable and predictable. Right, and that's a wrap then. That is the last Ecom Clam Club for the year. It's been good fun. We've met lots of people, had some very interesting conversations, but now we've got to get back to the office because we've got a very busy afternoon and you're going to get to witness every single part of it. Right, let's get on the train. Oh, and there you go. There's all of our branding. See, we're everywhere. Yes, we are. Right, so we're just back from this morning's panel. That was really good fun. Now we've got a very busy afternoon of planning. We've got a couple of clients coming in to discuss their planning for 2025, and we're just going to get into what's worked from 2024, what hasn't. We take such a big focus when it comes to planning. We structure all of our client plans on 90-day cycles. So we work on 90-day sprints. So Q1 is pretty much nailed down, but what we're going to look at today, and what we've already been discussing with our clients is these plans for, okay, what does Q1 and some of our clients Q2, so April, May, June is peak for them. Others, it's more Q3, and then we've got some that Q4 that we're in right now, that is their peak. So it's different for every single client, which is why we have to plan so far ahead to make sure that from a creative standpoint and from a what campaigns and when and why and how, we know exactly what's what. So that's going to be, not just today, we've been doing it for weeks, but today you get to come with us. We thought we'd put the camera on because we've got so much happening in a single day. So that's the plan for this afternoon. In addition to that though, what we've also been working on, because we like to keep our clients updated. I think one thing we do really well is we like to keep our clients updated and get them thinking about the future. So one of the things that the team and I hatched an idea that we've done is we have created them a video for each of them. So we created it multiple times and we had, because we've got some new team members to introduce and there's a few other key updates, some very exciting things happening at Evergreen that we know is already penciled in, going to be happening over the next few weeks and months. And so rather than just putting it on an email, because that's a bit boring, what we thought we would do is to create a video, and I'm in the middle of now Cinematic. If I just show you my screen, you can see Darren's still working on them. So we've got every one of them is a video filmed at my desk, and then we go off. I have a walk around the office, and I just sort of give them an update. It's a walk and talk. It's kind of what I do for you guys on, for you lovely viewers on Uncut. Our clients get the same. See, it's not just the content we put out to the masses. No one is going to see this stuff bar our clients, but we still take the same, I don't know, the same energy and effort and enthusiasm into that comms. And some of our clients think we're mad. Why just send it on email? But I don't know, we're creative. We like to just have some fun and frankly any excuse to get not just me, Darren as well, and the other team members on film, just so they can share some updates. So we've created videos for every single client. Darren's still working on them, adding more in now. When he's not filming this, because he's behind the camera right now. And then we're going to get those updates out. Then we've got clients coming this afternoon. And that's even before this evening, because it's going to be a long day. I've then got some prospecting, which I've got to get out the door as well. But before I can worry about prospecting, I've always looking after my current clients before I worry about anyone new. So that's going to be the fun for this afternoon. I've got about, what have I got? About half an hour till the first client's in. So I need to get these little updates sent. Right, here we go. Right, so that's it, we're done. The last client of the day has just left the building. As you can see, it's now dark outside. So we're about, 12, 13 hours into today. Some very productive meetings. Lots of plans, lots of very exciting plans for 2025, which is really good. And now that's done. Now the planning is done. Now we move on to the prospecting. And so what I've got, I'm gonna go and sit at my desk. I think the whole team has left, so I'm gonna be the only one here.
I'm still here.
I think Darren might even leave shortly. And then I'm gonna spend probably the next couple of hours just delving into some prospects. So because what I always do whenever I'm talking to prospective clients is I get access to their data, so their Google Ads account, their Meta Ads accounts, their Google Search Console, which I love, and then their Google Analytics. And I just number crunch the data. I just sit and look at their data and just pull off a few exports, a few spreadsheets, and just slice and dice the numbers because I want to get a really good sense of what's working, how much they're spending, what kind of returns they're getting, how different campaign types are performing, what creative's really working, what are they doing with their audiences, and are they, from a conversion perspective, are they set up correctly? All of this good stuff I want to know, so that when I go back on a call with them, which I've got calls tomorrow, I've got calls, well, as we're recording this, it's on a Wednesday, so I've got calls Thursday, I've got calls Friday, I've then got calls next week, and I like to go onto those calls knowing what they're already doing, so they can remove all of the guesswork, and I go, right, I can see that you spent 100 grand last year, and X proportion of it was not well spent, or there's this improvement, or there's this opportunity. I like to know that stuff. So there's no automation, I don't outsource it, I don't get anyone else to do it. From a new business perspective, I just sit there and will just look at my screen for a few hours and just immerse myself in that prospect, that business's world. And that's what I'm going to do for this evening for the next 2 or 3 hours. So there you go. This is, by the time I leave the office, it's going to be 8, 9 o'clock at night. And this is just one full day that we've never done before for Uncut, but it's just a true day in the life, typical about 14 hours that you get to see from a very early start when it's pitch black outside to now. It's going to be a very late finish and it's dark outside. So there was some daylight. I briefly saw it, I think. But yeah, so there you go.
Like this every day. I think we should
yeah, maybe for a little camera. Just most days. Most days, no, to be fair, we're not normally up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. But I do generally work quite late. So yes, so there you go. You've seen us on the panel. You've seen us doing the planning, which is very exciting. And now all the clients are looking after. Now I get to go and look at prospects, which is going to be good fun. So I'll bid you a fond farewell. I'll see you on the next episode of Uncut. And if you'll excuse me, I've got some prospects to review. Ta-da.
take this camera.
Nice. Welcome to my world. There you go. Right, well, you get to come with me. I'm only joking. I'm not really going to show you that data because that's for my eyes only, so that I can give all the goodies to the clients. Darren, I don't know how to switch this camera off. Ta-da, viewers. See ya.
Aaron, go home.
I will. Just one more account.